What's going on, everyone? You are right here on our ROUSH Performance esports channel watching the ROUSH Performance World Tour Series here at Suzuka in the wonderful Suzuka, Japan. Joining me in the booth tonight, guys, we got quite the lineup. With race control tonight will be Harold Darner, followed by Chad Casey, Rich Hall, and Owen Trinkler from their newest podcast. Then we got Joey Atterbury. Joey, what's going on?
How's it going, guys?
And then we got a special. So we got the Sports Car Unleashed guys from the podcast. We got Chad, Rich, and Owen. And then we got a special guest tonight. Who's that?
Yeah, I think we got somebody from the big leagues joining us who's on TV every weekend. You want to introduce yourself over there?
Yeah, I mean, y'all had to bring in a roundy round guy, right? So,
Chris Musser is here joining us.
Little NASCAR influence in.
That's right. We're definitely going to get the input from you there and see what the latest is. And then, but before we go to the action, we are going to jump over to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Here. All right, and there is the green flag drop as we come off that national anthem.
Looks like our pole sitter got away pretty clean there into turn one. He runs a little wide in two. It looks like things are bunching up a little bit behind him there as we enter the S's here.
Yeah, it looked like a little angry bunch coming into turn one other than the leader. He was clear of everybody.
Yeah, and that's looks like Paul Slavonic there in second place. He is actually defending two-time race winner here in this series, so we'll see if he can chase down the lead car.
Yeah, we got a guest. I know we're at Suzuka this weekend right now racing, but Chris Busher, you guys are getting ready to go to Daytona. How do you think turn one's going to be at Daytona at the road course there?
Well, we start looking at that one. It's kind of like me watching this race right now. I have never seen the course. I have not made any laps around it. I'm kind of learning as I'm watching right now. It's going to be the same thing. So we're in a position in the world we're in right now. We don't get to practice. We don't get to qualify. And they've told us that we're not allowed to run any other kinds of races during the weekend either. So we are going in completely blind. So a lot of sim time has been put in. Actually a decent amount of time iRacing, as well as the Big Four simulator across the street from the shop as well, trying to be prepared for it.
Yeah, have you found out your starting position yet?
I have not yet. I think we find out Thursday, so we'll see how the random draw has been altered a little bit, so that it's based on some performance metrics from the previous week. such as the fastest lap, your finishing position, and then I think they also take your points position into play as well. So there's a whole big math equation that they put in the system to spit out the numbers that's way over my head. So just waiting to see where that all ends up.
Now, I know that Daytona road course is new to you guys, but you've actually been to Daytona, not on the oval. I don't know if you've driven it before, but you've got some experience there back in the Grand Am days.
Yeah, other than my my little bit of wheelbarrow racing festivities in the infield during some of our downtime for our weekends, went with the ROUSH Mustang group to Daytona and actually crewed on some of y'all's cars back then, trying to learn a couple different divisions in the race shop and try and practice and learn different areas. So went Mustang racing for a couple months, went to the carbon shop for a couple months, back to R&D, just a couple different things to try and learn different parts of racing and parts of our facilities. And like I said, I spent all the time in the infield. I think held a pit sign out, trying to get everybody, try to do driver swaps as well. Ultimately, I don't think I was cut out for that. I didn't quite understand the part where you pull a driver out of a race car to put a different one in. That's always a bad thing in our side of the world.
Yeah, you guys are a little bit more of a single driver deal. But no, I remember you from back in the Grand Am days helping out with the car. I think you were only, about 15 years old at that time?
Yeah, I was trying to think exactly. So that would have been about 70. I've been about 20 or so.
Okay. So yeah, I remember you were fresh out of ARCA is what you were.
Yeah, so I was a little bit older for being one of the younger guys. I guess I was one of the younger guys coming through. So yeah, I was probably 20 years old at that point.
Yeah, now, and something that we can touch on, knowing the car inside and out is an important part here in racing. Everybody thinks of a race car driver just as getting out there and driving as fast as you can. But actual knowledge comes into play too, knowing about the car, knowing these different aspects, like Chris was working in the different areas of the shop. It's important to know that knowledge to be able to talk to your guys about the car.
No, yeah, I think so. I'm a firm believer of that. When my dad, made me wrench on my go-kart still all the way up, even today I'll grab a wrench and go after it. And maybe that's not what the guys want to see, a wrench in my hand, but try to always, all aspects of what goes on with the crew. And, I've been a team manager at one point and I've driven the truck. I got a CDL license. So pretty much I've done almost every job you can do. And I'm still fortunate enough to be able to drive, late in my career. So it's definitely helps younger drivers if they know exactly what the crew's kind of going through a weekend to understand the car, and also what they're going through, just challenges as human beings through a race weekend.
You say something pretty funny. So Chris, if you were to pick up a wrench at the racetrack on one of your NASCAR weekends, who's the first guy to come and take it away from you?
I don't think there is a single person that wouldn't walk up to me as I opened a drawer on the toolbox and ask what I was doing. What are you doing? What do you need? I don't think I would get any farther than that anymore. So it's a different day and age. I enjoy it. It's something that I've always liked to do. But at this level, we have professionals and checklists that are 5 or 6 pages long, and everybody's got their job and their duties, and they can cross it all off and make sure that at professional level auto racing, everybody's got to perform their own jobs and do it correctly. And I'm just I'm throwing a wrench into that equation that they don't want. So kind of stand back and watch everybody work now and be around, just try and be around to cut up and be friends and hang out with everybody.
Yeah, Joey, mine would be, we just had a funny video this week. Joe Vardy, he'd come over and be like, hey Bubba, what you doing there? So that's how Joe would go about it. But back to this race, and Chris, I got a question for you. But Paul Darling's just kind of stretching it out here big time on these guys and just pulling away to a comfortable lead. But Chris, what's kind of the mood in the paddock? I've talked about it on our podcast that I'm probably in favor. I've got 2 young kids to have the shorter weekends where you're just kind of showing up and getting after it and getting back home. And I mean, what's the feeling in the paddock having no practice and just kind of show up and getting after it and get back home?
It's got its ups and downs. So I think we're learning as we're going through it. It's something very different, not what we expected whatsoever. But we're finding out that our weekends probably were stretched out too far, and that it probably didn't make sense to keep everybody gone for 3 or 4 days on a weekend when ultimately we can do it in 2, very, very realistically. So I think that's not having practice has been tough. For me and our team, probably more specifically over most. There's a lot of people that are new to teams as well this year, but for myself, coming back to Roush Fenway to the 17 team, I've got a new crew chief with Luke Lambert that came from another organization as well. We really needed the practice to dial stuff in, and we don't have that opportunity right now. So it's been a tough year on us from that regard. But on the other side of it, it's been really nice. I don't think I leave my house for more than 12 hours, and that's leaving the house, driving an hour to the airport. We fly in, we race, fly home, and we're back within 12 to 14 hours most weekends right now.
Yeah, that's nice, just to be gone a short period of time. And I got to ask, too, I mean, after the Daytona wreck, I mean, I haven't heard much from Ryan. I know he's been back racing, but I mean, how's he doing physically and mentally right now?
Ryan Newman is back to being as Ryan Newman as possible.
Racing everybody hard.
Oh yeah, he didn't miss a beat. I think he came out to some of the West Coast races actually at the beginning of the year when we were still allowed to have full staff at the racetrack. He said he was bored sitting at home. He's like, man, I'm ready to go back racing again. He's like, I know I got to wait it out, but he said, I'm as ready as I've been. I've been over the simulator. I think they made an exception, NASCAR did, for him to go run a test to make sure that everything felt good, and he was good there. I mean, he was chomping at the bit within 2 or 3 weeks. So it was really more about protocols and taking the right precautions to make sure he came back when it was safe. But he's doing good, and I don't think he's missed a beat. If you think about it, Ryan Newman has had some of the most awful wrecks in our sport through the last several years, and he just keeps jumping back in and having at it again.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, obviously an older guy, and he still gets after it, and glad he walked away from that crash. I was definitely pulling for him there at the end of that Daytona 500, and just, I know Blaney felt terrible about it, and just kind of misjudged that. Yeah,
I think ultimately, I mean, I can't speak 100% for Blaney, but I can say about 98% that he had no intentions of doing anything other than pushing. I don't think he even thought about passing him. He was doing everything he could to push, and it just didn't quite line up correctly. So it's definitely hard. That was a bummer, but glad he's doing good. Glad we're learning. That car was actually at NASCAR's R&D center for the last 6 months. I think they just released it, so they're trying to take all the data they can and learn from that and make sure that we're safer going forward as well.
Yeah, sounds good. As we kind of watch some of the race action here, we're kind of back in 6th or 7th spot here, Trevor, and these guys are getting after it. The front guys are kind of gone away, but these guys are definitely getting after it, running over curbs. And
yeah, we had the battle of the Chris's going on. We had looks like Brunnemer and Wolfson. I mean, these guys were absolutely battling it out. Wreck happened right in front of them, and they kept in. It looks like right now, Chris is running down Michael, what is that, Ogren there. Let's see if we get in on that action. Yeah, looks like we're going to have a battle shaping up here.
So I have a question for y'all. How hard do you go right now? It's early in the race with conditions. How hard can you push it, or do you want to try and save something for later on at this point?
In these cars in this sim, we have about 1 or 2 really good laps on quote unquote sticker tires where the car feels very good. and then the car tends to drop off about 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds until the fuel load burns off. And what's interesting is that once the fuel load burns down to about 6 gallons, anything under that, the car starts to pick speed back up, and you'll actually see some of these fastest times set at the very end of their fuel stint.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, the tire keeps the speed, it just drives a little bit different.
Yeah, Joey, too, and then also weather, is different for this week for our listeners and watchers here. That a little hot today.
That's an understatement. Our previous 2 races at Le Mans and Spa were actually very, very cool. They were about 65 degrees ambient temperature, and out here at Suzuka, we are maximized on the iRacing temperature at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It is very hot out there.
So what does that put track temp at there, Joey?
You know what? That's a great question. Let's go ahead and see. Our track temperature is currently 100 degrees F.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Owen, you've been around New Jersey Motorsports Park in Indianapolis when it's about 145 on the track. Well, what do you see? What happens when you go from a nice 70 cool ambient day to 100 degrees plus?
Well, I love it. I mean, obviously we were able to kick some butt at New Jersey the years we were there when it was like super hot, but you just got to get the car set up to make sure it just doesn't fall off too much. It doesn't slide around a whole lot when it gets like 145 degrees on the track temp, and just got to work on your long run stuff. But that's the biggest thing. But I love it when it gets hot, and my old engineer before Joe Vardy wouldn't let me wear a cool suit. So I was like, buddy, you should be in shape enough. You don't need that. And it had to wait to the car. So he's like, we're not doing that. You've got to, can't wear any of this stuff. But I used it kind of to my mental side that, I don't need that. Okay, yeah, you're right. And I'll just go out there and win the race.
Quick question, Owen. Were you the team manager for that particular team?
I was. But I wasn't the engineer. I was the driver at that point. So Jim told me just to suck it up. He's like, you're paid money to do this, aren't you? And I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, all right. So, he was way older and smarter than I was.
We have the Battle of the Pauls up front.
It looks like we actually have a change in the lead. We had our leader, Paul Darling, go ahead and go off there. We got Paul Slavonic back out front.
And I mean, if you look at the best laps so far, I mean, they put down some pretty competitive laps, obviously, being at the front. But Paul Darling with a 157.5, following by Paul with a 159.2. So do you think, as we see, Paul is running down the bumper of Slavonic, and he's not used to this? He's the guy that kind of takes it and goes with it.
Yeah, no, this is a different position for the other Paul to be in. It's funny, we've got, I think, 3 Pauls between our 2 series, and all 3 of them are incredibly fast. It's pretty amusing out there. But Paul Slavonic won our first 2 races, and now he's back out front, and we'll see if he can control this race. He knows that he doesn't quite have the fastest car, but we'll see what he can do out there.
Yeah, Joey, we had him on, Facebook Live earlier in the week, and he was talking about how serious he takes this stuff. I mean, he's after it, working on it, on the setups and stuff, and he's here to win this race for sure.
Yeah, and Suzuka race is very different than our previous 2 races. There's not a whole lot of drafting going on here. It's a lot of technical corners and immediate turns right after each other. So it's very stressful on the driver and your driving technique. If you're not on top of every single entry, apex, and exit, you're going to make a mistake, probably like Paul Darling did. But as you can see, he didn't lose too much time. He was checking them out going down into turn 1 there.
Yeah, it seems like the biggest tow as they get, coming into turn 1. But yeah, it looks like a very busy track, and not much rest for these guys at all.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head. Their biggest tow is to go down into turn 1, but what we often forget is coming out of that final chicane, it's very tricky, and it's downhill around the last bend coming out of the front straight. So power down is tricky. If you don't get the power down going out onto the straightaway, somebody's going to crawl right up behind you.
All right, guys, while we watch this battle continue, we're going to jump to a quick commercial break. We'll see you guys in just a second.
Welcome to Fairlane, the home of my great-grandparents, Clara and Henry Ford. I'm Etzel Ford II, and this is my son, Henry Ford III.
We're here at Fairlane to announce the exciting raffle of a custom one-of-one 2020 ROUSH Stage 3 Mustang happening now at mustangforfairlane.com through October 1st.
Fairlane was built in 1915 by Clara and Henry, and it now stands tall as a National Historic Landmark. It is currently under restoration to bring the home back to life as it was when Henry and Clara lived there. This raffle is a unique way to raise funds to ensure Fairlane has a long, storied future, just as it had a long, storied past.
I have to say, this Mustang is one of the coolest cars I've ever seen. It has unique Fairlane-inspired features, such as custom-branded seats and door sills, and signatures of my dad and Jack Roush Sr., not to mention a top-tier sport package our partners at ROUSH Performance are known for.
I already said that I would trade my car in for it if I could, but they tell me I can't. So I'll be buying raffle tickets, hoping to win, just as I hope all of you do too.
With such an amazing car on the line and such a great project that needs your support, this is a win-win. Everyone from Mustang lovers to gearheads to those passionate about history and preserving our architectural legacies won't want to miss their chance to participate.
I know whoever wins this Mustang will have an absolute blast on the road and maybe more importantly, on a piece of history.
Remember, that's mustangforfairlane.com to purchase your tickets to win a car that is truly one of a kind, celebrating Ford Motor Company's incredible performance legacy and ensuring Fairlane's future.
All right, you guys saw it there. Your chance at winning a 2020 Roush Stage 3 Mustang. So if you can handle 750 horsepower, all you have to do is head over to mustangforfairlane.com and pick up your raffle tickets, and they're going to be raffling it off for a chance. I still can't believe that, giving away a Roush Stage 3 Mustang. Who's buying raffle tickets? Chris, how many can I get you for?
I was getting ready to ask, am I eligible for this?
I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure employees are eligible for this too, but obviously, let's see here. So, $10 raffle ticket, and let's see here if I can get a date to be determined. Okay, nope. The winner ticket will be drawn on October 1st. So you guys have now till then to pick up a couple of those raffle tickets for your chance at winning a Stage 3 Mustang. That's definitely the cheapest way to get into a Stage 3.
Well, it depends on how many tickets you buy.
That's very true. That's why Chris is behind the wheel. And I'm behind the mic. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, an early yellow went out. Looks like a car hard off track. Had a little tough time getting around there. But yellow quickly came out with 39 minutes to remain here at Suzuka for the ROUSH Performance World Tour Series. And this is super fun. And the supporting roles with Continental Tire and Haggerty, it's an absolute blast. We've had so much fun putting on broadcasts, getting on, especially with having guests like Chris and all the guys from Sports Car Unleashed podcast, which I want to talk about here in a little bit, Rich. I've obviously listened to yours, but I can tell you this, guys, if you're wanting to listen to a new podcast, Sports Car Unleashed is the one to check out. So Chris, or Rich, I'm sorry, where can we find that download? Pretty much any of the podcasts?
Any of the podcast catchers, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, you name it, we're there.
Awesome.
Give us a listen. We have a lot of fun, got a lot of really cool people on. We actually get to talk with people as opposed to just the mic in your face after a race. We get to actually get to know the people. We love it. We love it. And you guys should check us out. A lot of fun.
Definitely. We will. All right. And under this yellow, we want to give you guys a heads up on an awesome promotion with one of our partners, Continental Tire. You can get up to 100 Visa prepaid card with the purchase of 4 qualifying tires. It's going to be for light truck, or SUV Continental tires. So it's now through, let's see here, August 31st. So all you guys have to do is head over to continentaltire.com and check out the under promotions, and you can get through to see which tires qualify for it. So if you have a light truck or SUV, I would definitely jump on that and put some money in your pocket and take one of us to lunch. No one's down for lunch.
Sounds good.
You can take me to lunch.
I'm in.
No, I still owe you, so I'm being quiet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, at 37 minutes to go here on race traffic. I don't think we've seen a yellow come out this early. Typically, I feel like they're around the halfway point. Yes, granted, 37 minutes, but I feel like that came out quite early, and I think it's probably going to throw a wrench in a few of these guys' plans.
You know, a lot of these guys use third-party apps to tell them how much fuel they have left. And the longer you go into the run, the more data they have and the more precise it gets. So the whole idea here is that we're going to force these guys to guess. Looks like we got the majority of the fields coming in. We're going to see if anybody stays out.
Joey, how close, in some of the practice sessions, I mean, could anybody make it here without stopping, or does it definitely need to stop?
I think these are very tricky circumstances here. These cars will make it right about 45 minutes on fuel. So throw a 15-minute yellow in. Theoretically, they should be able to make it without a stop. But it looks like most of these guys don't believe that.
Man, I'm just watching this. Look how bumpy pit road is here.
I was about to say, my God.
Their shock setup needs a little work.
It's like a score pit lane.
Yeah, it looked like fuel only there for our former leader there.
But as we see, guys, look, a lot of this field did not come in and pit.
Yeah, stayed out. He didn't want to go off-roading.
Right.
It's funny you mentioned that. Suzuka is an FIA Grade 1 racetrack, which means it is as nice as it gets. And I think we're just seeing a little bit of an iRacing coding issue on pit lane here, because I know it is very smooth.
Well, I'd like to think that Formula One cars go through that pit lane, just bumping all over the place. That'd be so entertaining, wouldn't it?
I've seen the Red Bull car put some chains on and go in the snow and on the beach.
I think most of these guys, though, are covered with HPD track day insurance from Haggerty, right? I mean, they can go off-roading all they want.
Haggerty has been a great partner with us here, and they're actually giving away some prizes to our championship winners. They're giving away one of these super cool R-Seat N1 racing sim chassis, which is an incredible offer. It's over $1,200 worth of prizes, and they're not only giving one here, but they're also giving them to the Enduro Series winners, too.
My wife really wants me to have one of those. She really does.
Well, Rich, how much practice do you think you need to go ahead and get one of those if you were to come out and win?
6 years.
A lot.
Chad, you're being nice to him.
Yeah, I didn't want to go double digits. I know he's trying real hard, so I want to keep supporting him.
I'm still trying to catch Chad, so,
And I'm slow as hell. That's a bad sign.
I know. We'll stick to talking about it.
All right, it looks like we have a new leader up front that did not head down pit lane. We got of the 4GT 111 car, Eliza Campos.
Yeah,
And,
Peachy Campos out there, actually from way back. Chris, do you remember Rolly Filgueras running that white Ford Mustang with us back then?
So I'm pretty sure that's the one that I got put on race day, yeah.
Yeah, so Peachy was one of the crew chiefs there with Rolly, so he's actually out here doing the sim race.
Okay, I hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you got Matt Christie following him in the second spot, and then followed by the no name of Rob Holland.
Guys, and Matt Christie is a regular here with us. He's participated in a bunch of our social interactions and Zoom video calls. He live streams all of his races on his Twitch channel, and I know that he has put in a lot of time practicing here at Suzuka. His teammate was actually Paul, who was leading earlier in the race, and you saw him come ahead and pit for fuel and Matt stay out. So we might see a split strategy. We'll see if Matt can stay out and take this.
Yeah, what a setup, Joey, when we had him on the Zoom call this past week. I mean, it's a short period of time since April or March or whatever that, we kind of went into COVID, that he's invested a ton of time and money into this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, his setup looks like he's getting ready to launch a NASA rocket.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. I mean, but that's, that's the greatest part, though, about iRacing is you don't have to have, I don't think that you have to have the best to compete. Yes, I'm sure it definitely helps you out a little bit. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we've seen one of the drivers with iRacing. I think he has the highest I rating. And I'm pretty sure he just utilizes like a Logitech type setup and just straight bolted to his desk. And it doesn't look like much. He gets it done.
Eric Jones won a NASCAR race with a G27.
That's true.
Logitech wheel bolted
That's
to
right.
the desk.
So,
Timmy Hill as well went and he about dominated the race and the NASCAR race we did for a little while there, and he was bolted down to, I think it was a folding picnic table.
Oh my gosh.
He made a mockery out of us.
Wow. Chris,
So
what kind of
Rich-
setup were you working on?
I don't even know. It was so I had to go. I don't have internet at the house, and so when this all went down, we got locked in. I had no way to do it, so I had to go borrow the rig from the shop at ROUSH, and it's a pretty nice rig. It's non-motion. Is it Fanatic? I believe is what everything the driving gear was, but had to bring it up to my in-laws' place so we could hook up into some internet, and still we weren't allowed to be in the shop, so had to transport it up there and get to moving. So I learned slowly.
Do you feel that, because obviously, like when you're working on the sim or at work, it's probably a little bit different than having it at home. Did you have any fun? Did you go off and try any other series or different types of vehicles in iRacing?
So when we started, when I did the first invitational in these Ford GTs with ROUSH Performance, that was my first time driving the GT. I thought they were a blast, and kind of got a bug there. So I went in and I bought a handful of different off-the-wall stuff, and I got into a rally car. I got into the Pro 4 or the Pro 2 trucks. I had a blast racing some of those. Found out I really needed some kind of e-brake or something to turn some of the dirt car stuff.
Right. Yeah, see, I think I ended up changing the clutch to handbrake. And so rather than utilizing the clutch, I just stomped the handbrake or the clutch.
I commend you for that, because I tried that and I looked like a fish out of water.
And I guess because obviously is your name on iRacing Chris Buescher?
It is.
So do people because obviously now they're looking at you like, well, this guy better know what he's doing. I mean, is there any pressure felt by other guys, or do they ever make comments?
Yeah, I got yelled at a good amount, and asked how I could not understand or be any better than I was. Mostly dirt racing, not understanding a lot of stuff. So it usually happened. You go out on track for the first time, and I didn't. In dirt, I can never really tell where pit exit is, so I would just drive out and I'd wipe somebody out. It never failed, man. And they get so mad. And I get it. Like, I'd be mad too, but oh yeah, I was a rolling chicane.
That's great.
Nice. Hey Chris, you got any good stories from us from your days with crewing with the ROUSH guys back in Grand Am?
Man, I did it for about I think it was only about 2 months at the beginning of the year. So we got to, I was in the shop prepping cars. What was it, 4? I think there were 4 cars that were out of the shop in Concord. But my toolbox very quickly filled up with metric wrenches. I think it actually cost me money to go to work for those 2 months. But went down and it was something completely different. For one, when you got to the racetrack and everybody's set up, the rigs were set up, there was a different a different pace to it. It felt like, and a lot of fun, a lot of nice time spent with everybody. That like you could really be a little bit more friendly and not so in the dirt every moment at the track. But it was definitely a good time, and I enjoyed watching. Just enjoyed being there and learning as much as I could. Wish I'd have made some laps on the road course. Now that we're looking at going to the road course this weekend, so
I bet.
Take any pointers anyone's got.
All
Well, the
right.
new chicane's going to be interesting. I can tell you that much.
No doubt there. We got
Uncharted territory for everybody.
Oh, they bolted down the 10-inch turtle shells, so we're gonna mix in some road racing, some oval racing, and some Pro 4 racing. So,
Yeah.
trying to keep it on the ground.
Just work on the bus stop and you'll probably be good.
Okay. Work on the bus stop.
All right. Well, Chris, we know that you have a crazy busy schedule, and you're working hard getting prepped for this week, race week. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us in the booth. We really appreciate your time, and hopefully we can get you both on the track and back in the booth for future races.
Yeah, I would like to do it. I lost my iRacing rig. It had to go back to the shop, and some of the guys using it. So maybe one of these times I can sneak in there in the evening and get a race or two in with y'all. So I definitely enjoyed it, and I appreciate it. But we'll have to do some more of it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, it looks like we're going green here.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank y'all.
Rolling through the final chicane, and we're going to be going back to green here.
Yeah, if we got 26 remaining here, Joey, and see if this pit strategy works here for Matt Christie up front.
Look at this restart. We got cars everywhere on the front straight. We got them fanned out 3 wide. Rob Holland out wide. Matt Christie up the inside. Let me tell you guys, this racetrack is very slippery right now, and going side by side anywhere is very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty smart for those guys to stay out, as you kind of saw the madness going on in the back of the pack.
Oh.
And
looks like
see kind of what happens.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Can't see who's dropping back there. It looks like it may be Andrew Player there. We had a driver go from about 5th position on back there. All right, watching the battle right here. Looks like 4, 5, and 6. They are just lined up. Some aggressive driving here from Paul Darling. He's trying to go back to that P1 spot.
Yeah, they got to get their way through the traffic, and Rob Holland, Matt Christie, those guys at the front of the field are going to be hard to pass.
Joey, talking about passing, how difficult is it to pass on this track, especially in cars with tires that have got 20-minute cycle on them, and now we're ice cold after 15 minutes of yellow?
Yeah, well, Owen will probably agree with me. The easiest pass you'll ever make is one that you don't have to attempt. And here in these track conditions, if you can apply some serious pressure to the car in front of you, a lot of it's just a head game. How much pressure can you apply to make them make a mistake, and then you just drive right on by?
Yeah, Joe, I totally agree with you there. And, if you can get it done at the restart, too, that's why you saw them fan out 3 wide. And this opening lap, they're just getting after it.
Yeah, definitely. And thankfully, in these sim races, the damage isn't too bad if these guys bang bumpers a little bit, and the tires, they stay pretty warm. I think the biggest difference you see is a full tank of fuel. It can really affect these cars and the braking points. So a lot of times guys on a full tank of fuel will go to their qualifying brake marker, and then all of a sudden they end up in the wall.
Joey, what do you think we got going on here?
Down pit lane.
We've got Paul Sabonic back on pit road.
Well, unfortunately, I saw that Paul was in a little bit of some contact there in the S's in this first lap of the restart. So he might be coming in and doing a quick repair just so he can have a clean car. That would be my guess.
Well, he came in with quite a few people, and it looks like they're taking fuel.
Yeah, this is interesting strategy here. I'm not sure on this one. If these guys didn't take fuel on that safety car lap, this is a blown strategy call in my book.
Yeah, because it looked like they took fuel, behind the safety car and popped right back out pretty quick. And then now we'd had 4 or 5 cars just peel off on this opening lap here. So we went back to green to come back down pit road for a longer stop.
And it looks like Rob Holland has shortened that gap there with Eliza Campos there. Right, looks like we're going to have a battle here real quick.
Yeah, if we can pan back to that leading trio there.
I think this is definitely with the past races that we've seen. This is the tightest racing we've seen. Obviously on a 3.5 mile track here at Suzuka, and there's and I guess that's another thing. They're always driving these vehicles. I mean, with the complexity. I mean, where would you guys rank this compared to the other tracks we've been to?
Yeah, no, the complexity of the track and just the knowledge of it, it's very technical. And we touched on it earlier, the sections come right after each other. You go into turn 1 and then immediately you're into the S's. And immediately after the S's, you're into the hairpin. You have a little bit of break before the spoon curve, but the spoon curve is so technical how it's wide on entry and then it tightens. And during all of that, it also goes downhill away from you. So there's just a lot of different things going on in this racetrack with the vehicle dynamics of the car and the setup.
Yeah, really busy track compared to we've been at Le Mans, Spa, where there's got some fast flowing turns. I mean, tighter technical turns here, and just, one leads to the next and just not much of a break in between. That's why I kind of see this little angry pack here that we're following.
Oh yeah, and Jordan Musser, he's definitely been a name that's been fighting towards the front, and so I'm not surprised to see him up here, and he definitely put some pressure there on Eliza.
Yeah, I think Peachy's a little over his head right here. I know that he's a great racer and he puts in a ton of time, but these front 3 guys have shown that they're very fast out there, and I think once they got ahead here, they're going to stretch it out. Looks like we got Jordan Musser out front right now. We got Chris Brunnemer following him in second place, followed by Rob Holland in third place. Then we got Peachy Campos there in fourth. And JG Pasterjack of Grassroots Motorsports rounding out the top 5.
All right, and viewers, that you guys are watching an awesome race right now. We want to know who you're pulling for. Who do you want to see on that top podium spot? Just go and hit it in the comment section below, and also tell us where you're from. And if you haven't, make sure that you hit that like button and share it to show your friends what's going on in the esports, ROUSH esports world. All right, with that, guys, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll quickly get back to the action.
Welcome to Fairlane.
Coming up next, the future of driving is self-driving.
Dad,
Yeah, buddy?
am I ever gonna get to drive?
I don't know.
That means no.
Want to sit inside?
Sure.
I'm going to teach you to drive in this car.
How?
It's ours.
10 and 2, Dad.
You got it, buddy. Fueling the future. Haggerty. Let's drive together.
Just keep sounding pretty own.
If that doesn't give you all the feels with Haggerty's spot there, I mean, that, gosh, man, it's a little kid. I know you guys in the booth, I don't know if you were able to see it, but it's a little kid playing with little Matchbox carts like a 67 Mustang, and he's sitting there kind of playing with it, and his dad went ahead and made a purchase on one and brought him, and just the kid's eyes light up. And I mean, it gives me all the feels. I guess my first car was a '66 Mustang, so I think I can kind of relate there. But wow, that was a spot. What was your guys' first car?
Well, mine was a 3-cylinder CRX. I was in college, so that's all I could afford.
Joey, what did you start off in?
First race car, is that what we're talking about here?
No, we're talking about first car.
Cheater.
Well, no, actually, the car that I learned how to drive on, a couple different cars, but an old Mercedes 190E. That was a fun one to start. And I think my first burnout that I did, I took my older sister's Volkswagen Beetle and took the traction control fuse out, and saw what it could do.
See, I did that in my mom's minivan.
I tell you one thing, that Haggerty commercial made me think, man, I need to up my dad game.
Right? I know. Jeez.
You know, guys, we got somebody we haven't really talked about too much today. We got our Jack Roush Jr. out there rolling around in the top 10 currently.
Yeah, Jack's put in a solid run for sure.
It looks like he's right behind this train of about 5 cars, right behind Chris Wolfson, I believe, right now. And I think he's pretty hungry. Jack puts in a lot of time behind the scenes with practice. Me and him work a lot on the setups to make sure that we've got a comfortable car. So we'll see if he can move it forward a little bit here.
Yeah, Joey, he's just getting used to his new pedal and steering wheel setup, but yeah, this is definitely his best outing here.
Yeah, you know, Jack is an extremely decorated road racer. He's been around the block quite a few times. This is putting him into some new territory. He hasn't done many international racetracks, so all of these tracks we're going to, he's never turned laps on. And to have him come out just with a week or two of practice and be running up in the top 10 with these guys, he's doing an extremely good job.
Who's he going to be paired with for tomorrow night?
Jack is actually going to be in the commentary booth here tomorrow night. So you guys will have the pleasure of dealing with him for the full 2 hours.
So you're going to be out there mixing up tomorrow night, huh?
Yes, sir. You know, I put in a lot of time on these setups too, and even if it comes down to sim racing and accidents happen, I still got to at least feel like I got out there and put all this work to use.
There you go.
Have you come up with a good camouflage paint scheme to avoid any kind of potential mishaps that maybe plagued you in the past?
No, we are going to be running our Motorcraft livery tomorrow, which is actually a classic throwback of the ROUSH livery from the IMSA GTO GTP days with the old Mustang Fox bodies. We've recreated it with some more ROUSH branding and Continental and Haggerty branding, kind of a throwback to an old ROUSH livery.
Awesome.
Well, you guys definitely need to check out this battle that's shaping up here. It looks like 6th, 7th, 8th place. As there's a little
Jack.
Was that Jack? And I was just gonna make the comment. I'm gonna get off him because you know that how that curse happens. We've stood behind it pretty well.
Cursed. We'll blame you, Trevor.
I know. Well, I'm gonna get pay-docked. Looks like we got a pretty good battle here with Michael Ogren, Kyle Pate, and Chris Wolfson here.
This is definitely the closest battle we've got on track right now. These 4 cars, right, grouped together. Coming to the fastest corner of the racetrack, turn 15. This corner is known as 130R. This is a 6th gear, just to breathe the throttle and throw it in there and hope to God it sticks.
As you can see, he saved it. Now you're locked.
Great save.
Going into the chicane. Oh, look at him. He was able to keep it on the track. You know what? That's a 10 out of 10.
Tell you what, that is a 10 out of 10 because no one saves it when they lose it there ever.
No, absolutely not.
That's the first. I've never seen that before. That's amazing.
We will steal that clip and we will make sure that it's on social media for the best save of the season so far. Wow.
And perfectly timed with the Indy 500 coming up. I mean, that was a great Danny Sullivan impersonation right there.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're starting to wind down into the final bits of this race here. Oh, look at that blue car. You guys recognize that blue car?
Oh, we did. The chaos and confusion.
Yeah. Robin Warner.
You know, I got about 7 text messages from Robin before this race started. And something you guys might not know about Robin, but he's kind of part of our little Roush family with this sim racing stuff that we got going on. He's raced with us from the beginning. And we're really helping him out, and Jack Roush Jr. went ahead and sold him some sim equipment, and he told me that it is still in the boxes and he's using it as a table. Why aren't you using the better stuff, Robin? Come on. You're not going to wreck if you use the good stuff.
He just likes creating havoc. He's waiting for you, Joey. He's getting ready for tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yep. I can already feel it in the mirrors.
I must have to call Robin Thomas to train because he's just causing confusion and delay out there.
That's remember we have had him try to jump up into the booth before as well. Yeah. He was up here last time. So I'm taking cover.
Well, our leader up front, Jordan Musser, is still followed by Chris Brunnemer. Now, Jordan is an old Grand Am guy. He is heavily involved in go-karts currently. He's a great car control dude, and he also has been around the block. He is one of our fastest guys in the series. He chased down, or actually he led the majority of the Spa race, only to have Paul overtake him in the last few laps there. So we'll see if he can keep this lead out front. Looks like him and Chris have pulled out a 5-second gap over Rob, and then there's an additional 10 plus seconds back to 4th place. So it's really a battle out front of these two.
Yeah, let's just see if they make it on fuel. You know, we talked about they have not pitted. They took that caution to use it to their advantage to kind of save some fuel. And when we go back to Spa and the Enduro, Jordan was leading with the lap to go and had to come down pit road. So let's just see if this works out or not.
And I found out why those cars came in and pitted. So one of the things here in iRacing is that we don't have full control over the safety cars. And unfortunately, a few of the front contenders got a black flag somehow and we were not notified. So that was the cause for their additional stop. I do apologize to these guys that they were shuffled back. But, you know, it looks like they're doing some solid laps back there, and hopefully they can get back in it.
All right, guys. Speaking of camo, I think you talked about camo earlier. If you look at the Nicholas Brand here as he comes down the straight, and also I think I seen a shout out from Steven Brand out of Florida is pulling to see Nick on the podium, and Nick has, I think, the award for camouflage for GT. I mean, he's went completely just flat slate, gray. And no numbers, no names, nothing but gray. This would be a tough one to see.
Yeah, and talking about some interesting liveries, we actually, he's having a tough day out there, unfortunately. We've got a mystery driver out there today. Looks like it looks like he is hanging out way back there in a lap down in 28th position, but we've got a really cool Japanese-themed livery with some Japanese motif, and we've got some hints for this guy, too. Guess who can reveal some of those? He currently lives out there in Ellicott City, Maryland. And I think we've got some more hints for him here. He's participated in all of our races so far.
Tom Brady.
You know, my goodness. No. If Tom Brady was out here racing, I'd be blushing right now.
Oh, man, I sense a man crush.
So would Rich.
Wait, no, man. He plays for the other guys now.
Yeah, Rich is in tears. This is a sore subject for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'll be all right. Six rings is enough.
Oh.
Yeah. See what we have to deal with on the podcast.
All right, back to the hints. Yeah. Before Rich starts weeping over here.
So our mystery driver was born December 10th, 1962. A neat little interesting fact about him. His favorite street car is actually a Mercedes AMG C43. His favorite racetrack. What do you guys think his favorite racetrack? So there's a lot of good racetracks in North America, and he picked a West Coast one. Which, Owen, if you had to pick a favorite West Coast racetrack, what would you pick?
Sears Point.
Sears Point, that's a great one. I would agree with you there.
I'm going to agree with you there, too. That's where I grew up, running around there. Stealing golf carts, though, not racing.
Yeah, Joey, and I don't know. I don't have the notes in front of me, but, you know, I guess can we say that he did drive a touring car, right?
Oh, he's driven quite a few touring.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, not only touring cars in the Speed World Challenge days, but most recently in the Dominican Touring Car Championship.
Let's see in the comment section below. Who do you guys think that this driver is? It's not Tom Brady. I tried that.
It is not Tom Brady. He has been, speaking of touring cars, a Mazda factory driver back in the World Challenge days. He helped develop the Mazda 6 touring car. He was a big Trans Am racer before that. He spent a lot of time in Vipers. He's also spent a lot of time in the World Challenge GT categories, both with Lexus and in a Porsche. And ever since those days, he's been hanging out in the IMSA paddock and also racing around those Dominican World Challenge cars.
I just want to know what his favorite West Coast track is. Now, I'm totally curious now. What is it, Joey?
It's Laguna Seca.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Except I can't unhear Mazda's climbing that back hill. It's the only thing I can think of when I think Laguna Seca. It's wide open Mazdas.
You know, wait till you go there during a club race and you hear a bunch of 40 angry Spec Miata bumblebees going up that hill.
Yeah. I'm actually headed there this weekend, so.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Well, hey, you know, come swing the jet by. I know you got a private jet out there, Owen. Come on, pick me up in Seattle, take me on down there.
Bring your own mask, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, guys, before we're getting down to the last few minutes here, we're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll be right back to the action as you guys watch this battle between Peachy Campos and Michael Ogren. So jumping over to this commercial, we'll see you guys in just a second.
Luke here from ROUSH Performance. We're at the Continental Proving Grounds in Uvalde, Texas, doing a little development testing for our 2020 Mustang. Stick around and see what we got planned.
Here at Continental Tire's Proving Grounds with ROUSH so that we can go through and get some testing done and to prove out their vehicles, prove out our tires at the same time.
Some of the testing we've done today, we've done some lateral G testing, we've done some cornering work, some wet braking, and then some road handling for the tires as well. So all that goes into the overall finished ROUSH Mustang that we try to deliver to our customers so that you've got a vehicle that you can drive year-round in any type of weather. The Continental Extreme Contact Sport tire has been hands down one of the biggest improvements that we've been able to add to the vehicle chassis. I think overall the customer will be really happy with their Mustang when they've got these tires on their car.
Anybody in the market can buy the same tires, put it on their vehicle, and increase their performance.
The customer will be able to take their everyday street tire and go right to the racetrack. And this is kind of what we were looking for when we partnered with Continental on the tire for the Mustang.
We chose ROUSH because of their name, and their name means performance. Continental Tire means performance, and we're trying to connect the two brands and make one and one equal four. We're going after the best performance out there.
We just wanted that ultimate tire and just an obvious blend between racing and street that we want to provide for our customers with our Mustang products.
All right, back to the action. As you guys just seen, the extremely capable Continental Extreme Contact Sport tires on our Stage 3 Mustang. I was actually lucky enough to go out with the group there. I didn't get to drive the Mustang there, but I was able to watch professional drivers get behind the wheel of that Stage 3 Mustang and push it to things that I never thought you would see on a car that essentially can be driven straight off a dealership floor. So if you guys are interested in a ROUSH performance vehicle or at that, a ROUSH Stage 3, head over to roushperformance.com. You can click our dealer locator to find an authorized dealer near you. But if you're not in the market for ROUSH and you're just looking for some new tires that will keep you in place, those Continental Extreme Contact Sports are just a absolute winner. Have you guys had any experience with those, Joey? I think you had.
Let's see here. The most Continental miles I've got is their race tires, and then also we went down and tested out that Jack Roush Edition Mustang, which had some amazing sticky Continental tires on there. And I think that car was pulling in excess of 1.15 G out of a street car, which is incredible.
Yeah, no, that's incredible when you think about where that puts that vehicle up with supercars. I mean, you saw Porsches and Lamborghinis and so on pushing those kind of numbers. So it's pretty neat to be able to nudge in the ROUSH name up there, for sure.
Definitely, and the amazing part about those Continentals, we ran them all day with a bunch of journalists, and we were still turning laps at the end of the day that were consistent at the beginning of the day. These tires, they last all day if you're doing a track day. They're fantastic, and not to mention, I believe that ROUSH offers them as part of a Jack Roush Edition package.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Extreme Contact Sports will come on all of our Stage 3 vehicles, but then the guys, sorry, Chris Brunnemer was trying to get around lap traffic and wrecked hard. I mean, that was just so unfortunate. Yeah. You seen him flashing his lights, saying, "Get out of my way," and I hate to say it, that lap car, he was right in the center, and I don't think he knew which way to go there. Looks like he's parking it. That's tough. Yeah. That's a very tough break, especially minute 50 left here on the race. We're looking possibly see 1 or 2 more laps here.
Oh, that track like Suzuka doesn't take much, you know?
No, definitely not. Rich, it's, I mean, Jordan's not out of the clear. I mean, he's coming up on some lap traffic too. And no pressure now. Just see if he kind of goes into saving some fuel because he's got such a big lead here, 12 seconds.
Yeah, they've Suzuka has definitely claimed its victims this time. But you know, guys, one thing though to keep in mind: if you are a track day type of person, you're loading up your ROUSH Mustang or your vehicle, make sure that you're covered. And that's one great thing about one of our partners, Haggerty. They offer that HPD track day insurance. I mean, you're talking all different types of races, everything to autocross. And if you guys want to get a quote, you can literally, it takes 30 seconds. And I'm not just saying that. It takes 30 seconds. You go to Haggerty.com and you can click to get a quote instantly to see how much it would be to cover your vehicle. And I mean, might as well be safe than sorry, that's for sure. Especially with some of these drivers out there, as we've seen here on iRacing.
Well, to give you guys a rundown, a lot of these guys are going to need some Haggerty insurance after this. No, out front we have Jordan Musser. We mentioned him a little bit before, but he has stretched this out. 15 seconds he's got over second place now. Unfortunately, Chris Brunnemer was involved in a lapped car incident. But I think Jordan's going to finally take home the win. He's led a lot of laps in these races, and all he needs to do is hang on to this. We got Rob Holland in second place and newcomer Brian Ortiz in third. Brian just signed up about 20 minutes before this race. Extreme minimal track time. He's doing great.
There it was. Jordan Musser taking the checkered. Musser. Goodness. Joey's going to get me.
Yeah, it's been a long night for you.
Joey's going to get me hooked on phonics. That's what he told me.
And I see that Jordan pulled over just after the finish line. I'm willing to bet he coasted in on fumes on that.
You think so?
Yeah, that's why that lap car in front of him, he wasn't trying to push too hard there because I think he went into super full safe fuel.
Is Jordan on the Discord that we can pull him in, or?
Let me go check. Let me see if he's over there.
All right, guys, let's check out the results board here. Sponsored by Haggerty Motorsports. Looks like we have Jordan Musser, Rob Holland in second, Brian Ortiz in third, Kyle Pate in fourth, fifth place, Chris Wolfson, sixth place, Matt Christie, 7, Paul Darling, 8th, Michael Ogren, 9th, Matthew Wood, and let's see, looks like Andrew Player is going to round out that top 10. Man, what a race, guys. That's Suzuka definitely claimed its victims often. So one thing, where did our mystery driver finish? It looks like he took up 26th place there. Didn't have a great race there, but who was our mystery driver? Dun dun dun.
Our mystery driver, like I said, World Challenge guy, Jeff Altenberg. Jeff has been around the block since he's been a professional driver for 20 years now. Big time name in World Challenge, huge in the touring car days, and lots of wins, lots of podiums. Probably has more trophies in his house than I can fit in mine.
Sorry about that, Joey. Looks like having little technical difficulties here on this side. But yes, so that is our mystery driver, and we're going to be playing along with it each week. And also this week, I think we're going to up the stakes a little bit by doing a giveaway to give you guys some incentive to play along with this mystery driver and a few other games that we're looking to do. So some really exciting things coming here on the esports channel. The stream side of things, we're definitely pushing to basically have better performing computers that will give you guys just an awesome experience. So you'll be able to blow it up on the big screen and put some really cool high quality stuff up on your screen. So we're excited to do that. We've reached out to Top Flight's computers. They're going to build us a computer that's called ROUSH Charge Computer. So there's no other way to do it than some high horsepower stuff. But Joey, what do you got for us rounding out the night? We got any drivers to pull in? It looks like a lot of them. Unfortunately, it does look like a lot have unfortunately our top guys typically jumped out here because they had a very tough race as Suzuka definitely claimed some 4 GTs. So
is Rob around?
Let's see here. Let's see if we can pull Rob over. Joey, we got anyone to pull into the booth?
Yeah, let's see if Jack Roush Jr. is available over here. Let me see if I can go talk to him.
All right, guys, we're going to see about getting Jack Jr. in there. And again, guys, I wanted to make sure that you take advantage of the current promotion that's currently going on right now with Continental Tire. These guys have crazy capable tires. I have them on my vehicle, as do I think a lot of us here on this Discord channel.
I'm waiting on mine. Mine here should be momentarily. I can't wait to get those suckers on my ST.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, unfortunately not for the ST, but if you go for the light truck or SUV tire now till August 31st, you can get up to $100 Visa prepaid card. So just head over to continentaltire.com and check out that promotion. All right. Did we, Joey, were able to get Jack in here?
Yes, he is currently in here and eager to talk after that exciting race.
Jack, tell us about it.
I don't know. It was kind of a blur. Hopefully I didn't wreck people. Too bad. I don't know how it looked. It got pretty hairy there for a while. But my setup has gotten better and better, and I've got more used to it. I think that was my best race yet. Unfortunately, I got bumped back a few times from some incidents. I don't know. You tell me, how did it look?
Well, it looked like you guys needed Haggerty insurance, to be honest with you.
We did need that.
I mean, honestly, we were watching for a couple laps and you looked really comfortable. You got in a little trouble, but you looked a lot more comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said in, just the subtlety in how you tune your pedals and wheel, and I've got a little bit better setup than I've had in the past, kind of dialing it in and dialing myself in.
So is it a matter of getting the setup to feel more like the real setup would feel, or be just making it work for you in iRacing?
I think making it more real, the pedal feel, especially with the brakes, is huge. That was kind of a breakthrough just I got these inverted Fanatec pedals, just getting the right amount of resistance so you can really modulate, because that's so critical in any type of driving, and especially when you can't feel the inertia body. It's all in your foot.
All right. Well, Jack, we appreciate you hopping into the booth, and thank you so much for putting this on with the Roush Performance Esports channel and our World Tour Series. And we will be racing in almost T-minus, around close to 30 days. So we'll be back in on the action here on a Roush Performance Esports channel. Make sure before you guys sign out, hit that like button, hit that share button, and thank you so much to our sponsors with Haggerty Motorsports, Continental Tire. We appreciate you guys supporting us on this, and excited to see esports world grow, and hopefully you guys see a lot more action of these 4 GTs out on the track. So thank you guys so much.
Make sure to tune in tomorrow night. We have our Enduro Series race. We're going to be doing a couple broadcasts right here on the Roush Performance Esports page. Also on our Roush Performance Facebook page. Catch more racing from Suzuka. Teams race tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, do not miss out. Right back here, 8 p.m. We will see you guys then.